Hey guys, did you know that I have a Patreon where you can support me and plus get awesome rewards? Or if you're thinking to yourself, but Julian, I want even more bang for my buck while still supporting you, you can pop over to my Redbubble and check out my awesome store with new designs appearing regularly. But for now, enjoy the video you're about to watch. Alright everyone, you know the drill. This is YouTube, so it's time for a disclaimer. We are about to go into a critical reading of The Cellar, so if this happens to be your favorite book and you cannot stand to see it ripped apart, now it's time to go. Thanks for playing. The rest of you, enjoy the show. Hello everyone, welcome back to nighttime and probably the darkest timeline because I have to read this book some more. Adam is here. Avi, he says hello. Avi is also here, Avi the ferret. All the animals are around making noise, so if you hear strange noises, it is probably one of the animals. The dog is playing with the ferret. It's a madhouse in here. Let's read about poorly done crazy people. This is chapter 21. It is from Clover's point of view in the present day. I think this is the first time we've gotten Clover in the present day. So I believe he just killed a girl after not killing another girl. He had to get his kill boner dealt with somehow, so. By the way, I did want to mention, like, I've been thinking about it, you know, whatever, the guy obsessed with purity and killing prostitutes because they're not pure enough is probably the most cliched serial killer thing that I can think of. Like, I bet you there are at least 2 or 3 in, like, Criminal Minds who are killing people for that reason. It's just like, I need my serial killer to want to kill people. Why? Because he's a guy obsessed with purity and he's gonna kill prostitutes. He also buys a lot of clothes for himself, apparently. Apparently he burns his murder clothes every time. So, like, how much money does this guy make? Holy shit. Like, he could be living in a mansion if he didn't insist on, you know, keeping women in his basement and burning all his murder clothes. He burns his murder clothes in the fireplace. Like, not even in the backyard or something. I feel like that's a good way to get some really nasty smelling smoke in your house. Okay. Confirmation. Rose is Shannon, the girl that he was in love with. And that's why she's kind of in love with him too? I don't really understand this relationship all that much. But she's apparently gotten over having been kidnapped and now she's like in love with him a little bit. Okay, we are finally finding out what he does with the bodies. He dumps them in the canal. Which sounds like the stupidest thing that the canal must be so full of dead prostitutes. How has no one noticed?
What are you doing in my corpse hatch? Did I say corpse hatch? I meant innocence tube.
Just like a dam of dead prostitutes with the amount of people that he kills, and no one has noticed. Also, he has to physically take them to the canal to dump them in, and no one has noticed this either. So now we're going to go to work with Clover, where he is judging every woman he sees and saying that they are dressed like prostitutes. What a charming man. He's not going to tell us how she is dressed, to be like, oh well, that's a bit skimpy for work or whatever. Oh, but she is a whore because he overhears her flirting with the married man. We've got another girl besides Christy the whore. Now a girl called Jessica has come into the kitchen, so we'll see how she's terrible. And also a girl called Jane. He's surrounded by women. It's been many, many months, and these girls are still gossiping about Summer, the kidnapped girl, and I feel like that wouldn't be office gossip anymore. It's been many months since she was kidnapped, and while her family is probably still continuing to search for her, the police may have even called that off by now. He says that Summer's boyfriend allowed her to roam the streets alone at night. She was in a park, dude. She wasn't on the street. Don't lie. And of course, he brings Christy the whore a cup of coffee and catches her on her work computer Skyping with the man she's having an affair with. I wouldn't be surprised if he came into her cubicle and she was just stripping in front of her computer screen.
Work at that place.
Yeah, I have greatly misunderstood what this law office does. It's just a front. It's all just a front, and only Colin doesn't know that it's just like a front for sex workers and like they're cam girls and they're doing their actual jobs, and he's just like, all these people are so bad at law. So now he's planning to kill Christy the office whore. You know, As you do. Because she's a homewrecker. She's gonna have sex with Greg, and his poor wife is not gonna be okay. So he's gonna go kill her, and he just broke into HR and, like, stole her file to find out what her home address is. He's planning to actually go to Christy the Whore's house and kill her there, which isn't his usual MO. He usually brings the prostitutes to his house, but as we have established, this guy has, like, inhuman luck with not being caught. So, and there's a lot of book left, so unless, I mean, a great twist for this book would be that he gets caught and then the girls actually, like, have to figure out how to get out of the cellar before they starve to death. I doubt that that's the direction this book is going to go, but that would be a really cool twist. So Christy the Whore, which is what I'm going to call her, doesn't live, like, on a quiet street. She lives near a nail salon and a butcher and, like, a lot of apartments or flats because we're in England. But she lives in a residential house, so he's like, no one will interrupt me because apparently the sounds of someone being murdered cannot pass the walls of a house. Luckily for him, there's a door key just hidden right by the door. I don't know what his plan was if there wasn't a key there. Was he gonna just, like, give up, or was he gonna break a window, or what was his plan? By the way, Christy the Whore is putting on makeup, which is an even more whorish thing for her to do. She is just whoring it up. This guy, I feel like the author just went on Incels forum and just wrote it all down. She was only wearing a skimpy, tasteless bra and matching thong. Her body was toned and slender. It was her weapon, the thing she used to get her way, especially with men. And, I mean, women too, apparently, just especially with men. Abby is here. Hello, Abby! Oh. No. No. So she's screaming. He's coming at her with a knife and she's screaming. But no one's gonna hear her, obviously. Yet another woman who makes no attempt to fight back. She just passively gets stabbed. I mean, I know she's in her underwear, so she has limited options. But, like, she just stands there and screams until he stabs her.
Someone ever tries to kill you, you try to kill him right back.
He's been so lucky so far that pretty much every woman he encounters just folds immediately. At least she doesn't die right away when he stabs her in the stomach like that other girl. She's doing a bit of crawling away and gasping and whatnot. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's not suspicious at all. So he's cleaning up after himself, which is like, I cleaned up, so it's like a paragraph, or less than a paragraph of how he's cleaning. But he's using bleach on a carpet. It says, I poured bleach over the carpet. So when somebody comes to investigate where Christy the Whore is, they're going to see a large, bleached, like, super suspicious, large bleach spot on her bedroom carpet. But no, he's the worst murder guy ever, and somehow he gets away with all of this. He takes a break to do a Lady Macbeth in the bathroom sink where his hands are just like, you can't get the blood off. By the way, he's leaving fingerprints everywhere in this bathroom, but he does not care. So he's killed Christy the Whore, and he's going to dump her in the canal as well with his massive canal-blocking pile of dead prostitutes. Alright, by the way, we're on to chapter 22, and we are back with Lewis. We have not been getting much Lewis. I thought that we would be getting a lot more of him when I heard that this was going to be from Summer, Lewis, and murder guy Clover's point of view, but Lewis has barely been in it, and mostly he just exists to think about how awesome Summer is and how much he will never stop looking for her, and that's all he does. Okay, it's been 6 months, and the cops come to Lewis's door and they say, we found her cell phone. 6 months later, and they found it in a dumpster near the canal. Is that dumpster just never emptied? In 6 months, the dumpster? Okay, this must be an alternate dimension where this guy has some kind of magical powers, where Clover has magical powers, because there is no way, even with the inept police that we have in our real world, there is no way that he has not been caught. Apparently, someone found the phone in the dumpster and charged it, and it still works, and the background picture is like Lewis, and so the person who found it brought it in. That's a lot of convenience, but most convenient of all is that the dumpster hasn't been emptied in 6 months. I don't understand this at all. Like, the sister asks, is it on? She always had it on. Well, no, it's not on. The battery would be fucking dead. I only assumed that whoever found it charged it. It's not actually in the text, but 6 months in a dumpster, the battery is dead. Ooh, maybe we're gonna start figuring stuff out, because the cops think that Summer might be in the canal. So maybe they will actually look in the canal and find the enormous pile of prostitute bodies.
Hide behind the mound of dead bards.
I mean, there's a lot of book left, but maybe this will start the police on their way, because apparently they need all the help they can get to catch this guy. No, Avi. You cannot. You will spill the water.
Yes. It is my mission. My destiny.
Again, Lewis is Captain Dream Boyfriend, because he's like, she's not dead. I would know if she was dead. And doesn't every girl dream of having a boyfriend who just, like, is psychically linked enough with her to be like, she's not dead. I know it. I feel it in my boner. I don't know. The cop's like, her phone was found by the canal. As if that's proof that she, like, fell in the canal. But, like, it was in a dumpster, not on the banks of the water. And now we're going to have to listen to Lewis go on a lengthy jag about how great Summer is and how much he misses her, / how much he knows her. Joy. Ooh, the cops actually found 2 bodies. They found the beginning of the murder pile, no doubt.
Murder pile.
Murder pile! So they're all headed to the canal to watch the police drag the canal and find so many bodies. I can only assume, because so many. They're watching the police drive the canal, and old Lewis here says, the air left my lung in a big rush. Just one lung, not both. And that's the end of the chapter, but the police are dredging the canal. They've already found another body. They're going to find so many bodies. And let's just hope that they are not so stupid that they can put it together. I mean, there's going to be a fresh one. The girl that he, like, just murdered is going to be there. And they'll be able to trace her back to her home, presumably, where they will find a suspicious bleach spot and his fingerprints literally all over everything. So, that's a thing. And perhaps that is how they will find him. And all because they found Summer's cell phone in a dumpster that had conveniently not been emptied for 6 months. It's a Christmas miracle. Anyway, I'll see you guys when I read chapter 23, which is from Clover's point of view. Bye for now. Hey everybody, we're back. It's nighttime again, and the ferret is here, so if that was her. If you hear funny noises, it's the ferret. If you hear other funny noises, it's the husband.
Hello.
He's over here playing video games on his phone. And all the cats are here. We got a Jane, we got a Kinshu, so we're ready for more of this terrible book. Alright, so we're back with Clover, and we're back in time to when he was a little kid, I think. Get to learn about his trauma. We already know what his trauma is. We already know that his dad slept with a prostitute, possibly more than one, and then Clover and his mommy went on a revenge killing spree against prostitutes. That's what it is, but I guess we have to watch it happen now. So the first part of this chapter is just watching him and his mother go on a shopping trip to buy presents for Daddy, and it's just little baby Clover / Colin just talking about little kid things that he likes and doesn't like. And it's incredibly boring to read because it's all tell. And then at the end, his mom is like, here, she gets some flowers at the grocery store, and he's like, ew, I don't like flowers, because I guess he's a boy or something, and boys don't like flowers. But anyway,
Ridiculous.
I know, but anyway, the mom is like, but they're the purest creations in the world. So, you know, we're setting this up really subtly for his later flower and purity obsession. But now, I think Mommy's gonna come home and find Daddy sleeping with a hooker, so let's enjoy that. Daddy is stupid. He's having sex with a prostitute in their home, in their bed. Step up your game.
Yeah, that's not even trying.
He wants to get caught. At this point, Daddy here is looking to get caught. He probably wants to break up with his wife. He wants a reason, so he's like, I'm gonna have a hooker over and she's gonna catch us. Joke's on him though, because I'm pretty sure Mommy's gonna kill him, so, like, actually kill him with a knife.
One might end the relationship.
Yeah. Okay, well, I know he's like faking it, but he's all like, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean anything. It was a mistake. She's in your house, in your bed that you share with your wife, dude. This is definitely a desperate attempt to get rid of your wife. Sorry about all the noise. The ferret is playing very loudly in her tube right now. So that was the end of that chapter. Mommy didn't kill Daddy, not yet anyway, but she did chase him out of the house. And little Clover was traumatized naturally. A very formative moment for him when Mummy chased Daddy and his hooker friend out of their house. So that obviously turns you into a murderer. But now we're in the present, and I don't know whose point of view we're in, to be honest with you. Like, somebody who's interacting with Lewis, so we're not in Lewis's point of view. So whose point of view are we in? Okay, I think we're still on Clover's, but it's present-day Clover, and he's helping with the search party for Summer. He's probably realized that the police have found his mountain of bodies in the canal, and he's gonna, like, try to get in here and find out what else they're finding out. I don't know how it works if they restart, like, search parties again, if they find someone's phone, like, 6 months later. I've never been in a search for somebody, so if that's how that works.
Well, the finding the phone might be if it's found in a new area, be like, oh, we didn't search this new area. Now, the 6 months later, if they're searching that new area, they're probably just hoping for a body and a conclusion.
I mean, there's so fucking many bodies in the canal.
So, there you go. They're
probably still fishing them out.
Are likely to be fulfilled.
And that's the end of the chapter. Basically, it's just Clover trying to cozy up to Lewis a little bit, and Lewis, I think, is onto him for some reason because he gave him a glare at the end. But that's the end of that chapter, a very short chapter. And we're on to chapter 24, which is back in Summer's point of view. 2 weeks, by the way, since they allowed Violet to get the shit kicked out of her while they stood there and watched. Oh, and apparently Clover had another dead flower freak out. How does this man who has enough common sense to hold down a job at a law office, and enough, I guess, more luck than ability, to murder people and get away with it, how does he not understand the concept of cut flowers die? I don't know. This villain doesn't make any sense, Adam.
He's not supposed to make sense. He's just there to be a foil to the heroine.
The heroine doesn't need a foil. She's so stupid, she's her own foil. Knowing Summer like I do now in this story, I'm pretty sure if she hadn't been kidnapped that she probably would have just fallen into the canal all on her own. Now, Summer is like, if she ever tries to escape again, this time I won't leave her alone. This time I'll help her. And it's like, that's great, but, like, she was beaten within an inch of her life while you watched, so I don't think it matters that you're like, well, next time, you had your chance, bitch, and you failed.
You get nothing! You lose! Good day, sir!
Violet, the girl who was beaten within an inch of her life, is still not doing well. She's probably going to die, that's my guess anyway. And Summer will once again be left going, oh, well, if I only had someone to escape with me. But I can't do it now, because Violet's, like, dead, so... Also, they give her, like, 1 ibuprofen at a time for, like, her broken ribs and stuff. And... like, they're only given a few painkillers, so I understand them trying to ration them, but, like, 1 is not gonna touch it. So, like, forget rationing them and just give them all to her so the girl can have some kind of relief instead of just, like, feeding her 1 at a time over a great length of time, because 1 is not gonna do it.
Placebo effect.
Placebo effect. Ignore your broken ribs, we gave you an ibuprofen.
It was a magical ibuprofen.
And of course we have to read Clover is back, and we have to read, once again, the basically same physical reactions that our main character has to him every time, so that we understand that she's still... Abby, why are you being so loud right now? So that we understand that she's still repulsed by him in exactly the same way, and it's so fun to read the same thing. The last, like, 3 pages were just an incredibly boring nothing sequence about them eating breakfast, and Summer just feeling repulsed by Clover, as usual. And then, apparently, Summer can still just decide not to help with any of the chores, because she's just like, okay, you guys have fun cleaning, I'm gonna go hang out with the beat-up girl. And, like, nobody... like, none of the other girls get mad at her for always just doing whatever the fuck she wants. If I was them, I'd be like, okay, you've been here for over 6 months. Will you please, if you're not gonna try to escape, which you're clearly not, will you at least please, like, help us clean? Apparently, here's a sentence that doesn't make any sense. If it weren't for Violet, I don't know what I would be like. She kept me sane, well, as sane as you could down here. You've known her for like 2 weeks, and she's been like beat up most of the time thanks to you. So, like, how is she, like, suddenly your best friend, your bosom companion who keeps you sane?
Because it empowers them. One, they know that Violet is beat up because of them. Two, they're one of the people responsible for nursing Violet back. So it gives them some power and some agency.
So you think it's like a power trip with her? Like, I control your life, Violet? By letting you get beat up, and then I'm the one who takes care of you.
Well, I mean, it is things that would motivations or subconscious or otherwise that would keep somebody sane in that situation.
I mean, maybe. I don't think that's what this author means. Now we're going back in time a little bit. Basically, we just listened to Summer talk to Violet about nothing. So this is a very nothing chapter. So we've gone back in time to one of Lewis's birthdays. So this is a very 50 Shades of Grey response, because every now and then we're in Summer's head, you know, she's thinking, you know, italics. And she's remembering a birthday, she went to Lewis's house, she woke him up, and, like, he's being all cute and flirty. He chuckled and got off the bed, pulling me into his arms, and then she thinks, whoa, half naked. Like, that's a very 50 Shades of Grey thought right there. And then later she thinks, wow, wow, wow. Fluffy nothingness that was, or this section of the chapter was that, and it's basically Summer just thinking about how she doesn't deserve her incredibly hot, incredibly bland boyfriend. And they're all like, lovey-dovey, I love you, and it was pointless, completely pointless, except to prove that Summer has a hot boyfriend that she doesn't think she deserves.
It is a piece of paradise in the chaos of hell.
Uh-huh. Adam likes to give the authors way more credit than they probably deserve. But that's the end of that chapter. So I'll see you guys next time for chapter 25, when we'll be back with Clover. And maybe fewer animals making a lot of noise, but...
Probably not.
Probably not.
We'll probably just make more noise.
It's nighttime, and Adam's not here, so there's no one to save you and be like the kind and gentle defender of this book. There's only me, the harsh and terrible destroyer. So, let's just read chapter 25, which is from Clover's point of view, and in the present day, what's he doing? He just killed someone, right? What else? Like, I don't know, we've been skipping around so much, I don't even actually remember what's happening in the present. So Clover, he's just doing his thing, he's getting ready, he goes down to eat with the girls, and he's watching Lily, or Summer, and he's like, she's so stoic and strong and quiet, and he's like, she was the type of young woman that didn't complain at every ailment. I respected that. She was strong. Dude, she cries at the drop of a hat. Now, granted, Clover doesn't get to see that very often, because usually she does her crying when he's not around, but it just entertains me that he thinks that she's so strong and stoic. I do find it interesting and horribly convenient that the police have found the phone in the dumpster right at the same time that Clover lost control and killed his coworker. So like they're going to be able to like track him down a lot more easily than they maybe would have before, because now they can, you know, notice that the coworker is super dead and his fingerprints are everywhere. I don't know if they'll do that. Christy the whore is dead. And Gemma, one of his coworkers, like, everyone is so chill about it in his office. And then his coworker came in and brought him a cup of coffee. And she's like, terrible about Christy, isn't it? I can't believe anyone would hurt her. Your colleague was fucking murdered. This isn't a, oh, terrible about so-and-so kind of situation. This is a, wasn't it horrific what happened to Christy? Holy cow, I'm having so much trouble processing it. Oh, Christy deserved better than being horrifically murdered. Shame about Christy, terrible about Christy is like when Christy's car blows a tire and she can't make it into work. Not, she's been horribly murdered. I gotta say, I approve of his office having so many women in it. Clearly, they are taking initiative and hiring a lot of women versus the usual, you know, say law office that would usually have majority men. I've only seen one other guy, so, you know, good for them. This writing is so juvenile that I almost feel like it's making me worse. Like, just reading this, I'm used to reading books where I can look at it and be like, oh, what is this author doing that I can learn from? What are they teaching me with their writing? And a book like this, there's nothing to look up to from this author. It's all just very, very clunky and poorly done. And I know that sounds terrible, but like, I feel like this book is making me dumber. That makes me a horrible person. I understand. I understand that I am a terrible person. The police come to talk to Clover about Christy, the whore, and he easily, using his amazing intellect, gets them thinking about the person that Christy was having an affair with, and completely, like, gets them off of his scent, you know, except for the fact that he probably left fingerprints all over her house. But we'll ignore that. So he has cleverly gotten them off of his scent. He is a criminal mastermind. And we are on to chapter 26. Look at guys, we're getting through this book. We're on to chapter 26. I'm gonna go get my tea, and then we will keep reading. Tea acquired. Chapter 26, we're back with Summer. We are in the present, so let's just see what they're doing. Gee, I hope we get to follow them through yet another monotonous day. Maybe Violet will die. So she's laying there in her bed thinking about, you know, everything. And she's thinking about the killer, and she's like, I don't understand how he was getting away with it. For once, Summer and I are in agreement. So he's brought home another prostitute to kill, presumably. He's brought home another woman to murder, and I don't know what he's going to do with her. Is he going to put her in a body bag and throw her in the canal so that the police can find her too? Because they're still, I assume, dredging up bodies in the canal. It's going to be really hard to get this girl down to the canal without, like, getting noticed at this point, I feel like. But maybe he will do it because he's just that good. I think this is the wrong word in this situation, the wrong dialogue tag, if you will. So he's brought this prostitute down, and he's kicking the crap out of her before he stabs her or whatever. And she is begging for her life, and it says, "Please don't," she muttered. "Let me go, please." Muttered is the wrong word for someone who is begging for their life. Our heroine wakes up to the stabbing being done, and she goes and she watches. And she watches this girl be beaten and then stabbed. And the girl even looks at her and, like, begs for help. And Summer thinks to herself, I can't do anything. I'll never overpower him by myself. Which she wouldn't be. She would have the help of this other girl. And, you know, we're supposed to believe that she's horrified. But if she's so horrified, why is she still watching? I think she's starting to like it, personally. Don't think of it as a person, I told myself. I pictured a slab of meat on the floor. The remains of a slaughtered animal. See, yeah. I think Summer's turning evil. New headcanon. Summer is turning evil. She's into it. She likes to watch him stab these girls. Because that makes Summer a lot more interesting than she actually is. Ooh, here's another one. A pool of blood seeped under her body and trickled toward me. I watched it with morbid fascination. So much blood inside a human body. Bright red liquid swimming around in their veins. She's into it. She's into it. And now she's crying again because the other girls are like, help us clean up the body. And she's like, no, and ran off to puke or whatever. And now she's crying. And it's like, oh, I see how it is, Summer. You like the stabbing until it's time for you to have to do work. I see how it is. Psh, so lazy. Oh, Summer, you're so judgy. So now she's sad because she misses her family. And she's thinking about the other girls. And she says, sure, Rose and Poppy didn't have anyone looking for them that we knew of, but that also meant they didn't miss anyone so much it made them feel sick. How do you know? How do you know? Like, especially Poppy, you talked to her, wasn't it Poppy? I think it was Poppy, who had the backstory of, like, her parents kicking her out. That doesn't mean she doesn't love her parents. It doesn't mean she doesn't miss her parents like crazy.
He's an asshole.
Now we're gonna get a flashback of her and Lewis again. There was nothing to report in that section. Nothing to report. It was just a section, another one, showing how much Lewis loves Summer. You wish you were in love like they were. It's just so sickeningly cute. The end. So that's all I'm gonna read for tonight. But we're getting there. Were people scrambling to read this on Wattpad? Were people like dying for the next chapter of this? It's so boring. Who was clamoring for this? Why is it a sensation? I don't know. I don't understand. Anyway, I'll see you guys when I see you guys for the next chapter. Hey everybody, it is shout out time again. Time to shout out to my patrons, Amanda, Ashley, Celia, Kim, Lisa, Ramona, Sabby Panda, and Sarah. And if you want to be great like these amazing people, then become my patron over on Patreon.